I've noticed this pattern in my work where I do talk about a lot of sad stuff, but it seems like at the end of the day, what it all ends up being about is about like sort of like some love saving you. It's so corny, I can't say it out loud, but in my own, I happen to be madly in love with my own wife, and I feel like she saved my life more than once, and so when I write, I feel like that comes out. I love the Flash, but I do not understand him. I tell Josh Williamson, I have this argument all the time, like, to me it's so hard. I was like, because his power set is, like if someone pointed a gun at him, it wouldn't bother him. If someone used the power, like, he can move faster than light, faster than someone can think. I don't understand why every fight doesn't end immediately with him just like Weather Wizard's like, I'm gonna and then just like doesn't finish the sentence and he takes away the thing. Like his power set's too big. I did an issue, Batman 21, where I was just like, what if Flash fought Batman? I was like, it would take a minute, you know? It doesn't even, yeah, so, I don't know, Flash scares me in that I just don't understand how to have him fight anybody fairly. Yes, I think it has. When I first started out, I think I thought of him as more invulnerable than he was. I sort of thought of him as a person who always knows the right answer, because Batman is always 7 steps ahead of the next person. That's sort of the idea. And I think it took me for a while to find sort of almost like exactly what I was saying with Flash, like what makes him vulnerable in order to make a story out of it. And I think the fact was he's 7 steps ahead of everyone else, but he's not 7 steps ahead of himself. Like, he can predict how every single other person is going to react, but he can't predict how Bruce Wayne will handle a situation. So I think that's sort of the discovery I made along the way. Well, I think a lot of people very smartly pointed out that sort of Dan Jurgens had just done a brilliant arc with him. Dan Jurgens is the creator of Booster Gold and knows that character better than anyone else. And was Booster sort of settling into a good role and sort of maturing himself. And then I took him where he made sort of a huge mistake. But to me, that's the essence of Booster. He's the character who, as soon as he thinks he's on top of things and understands everything, he makes a critical error and has to sort of deal with his own arrogance and his own sort of thinking. I think that's what makes that character interesting. And also, I'd gone to DC, I wanted to do something huge with the character and sort of put him at the center of the DC universe, and I said I need a character. And I don't know if you've ever seen, but every character I ever use, the first time they get sort of messed up. I mean, I did it with Vision, I did it with Catwoman, I did it with Kyle Rayner, I did it with Mr. Miracle. And so I was like, give me a character and he'll get messed up, but in the end he'll sort of become something bigger, and they gave me Mr. Miracle. So of course the story's gonna start with him doing something big and messing up, so that was him making that big mistake. But to me, it didn't seem like I'm a huge, did you ever watch It's a Wonderful Life, that old movie that's on at Christmas? I watch it every Christmas with my family and stuff. And when I watched that movie and Clarence the Angel gives Jimmy Stewart the other life, that doesn't seem to me to be something that's incredibly stupid. Because Clarence knows that Jimmy Stewart's going to make the decision to go back to his regular life. That's the whole reason he does it. That's all Booster did. That to me, that doesn't seem as... He knew... People say, oh, Booster wouldn't change the past. He was only changing the past because he knew Batman would change it back. The surprise to Booster, and to me, was the fact that Batman didn't want to change it back. So I don't know, it seemed okay. Yeah, you're seeing seeds planted all over the DCU right now. It's sort of slowly all coming together for the big announcement of who will be in it. I mean, it's a big... it's not an event, I think that's the wrong word for it, but it's the biggest story I've ever written, maybe, in terms of its impact on the DC universe and its impact on sort of... You know, it's something that'll have a sort of lasting effect, hopefully, on every character. So, yeah, you're already seeing it in Batman, you're seeing it in Flash, you're seeing it in Green Arrow, and the big announcement's coming. I think it's coming this month. I think we live in kind of a dark time. I don't know, wherever you are on this political spectrum, it feels like sort of a dark time. But to me, it's sort of when you're under the greatest pressure that these heroes can be heroes, that the actual, like, truth and hope can shine through. Like, it feels to me like this country's greatest moments of transcendence were during like the Civil War and World War II, when it all sort of seemed to be falling apart and we sort of found our true core of ourselves and were able to fight back. And I think that's what I want to do with the superheroes. So it's not about the tragedy, it's about how that tragedy shows that these heroes are truly hopeful and these heroes will never be defeated, and that there's something in them and hopefully in us that can conquer that darkness. Yeah, but I mean, every artist sort of, I don't know, there's some sort of arrogance in there that I don't like, that I don't want to inspire someone. I think art has to do two things, and I think they're both equally important, especially now. Number one, I think we're all sort of obsessed with the news. We all read it all the time. And I want people who read comics to sort of be able to take a break from that, because I think that's so important, because it makes us all crazy. Like we're just too stressed out. And so when you can read a Batman comic and you can read about punching a bully in the face and you can take a break, that is as important as being like Fitzgerald being the voice of his generation or something. Just that half hour out of your day where you're just like, all right, I'm not watching CNN, I'm not looking at Twitter, I'm looking at a good guy winning over a bad guy. And on the other hand, yeah, I do think that comics, especially comics which are, I mean, this country has been through this sort of perpetual war. I fought in it, you know, and so there's sort of there's this violence in this country that we sort of, I think it's affected us in a way. And comics is a genre of violence, or superhero comics is a genre of violence. It's all about people punching each other. And so I do think there's sort of a duty to talk about what that violence does to a society. And I hope we get at it. Sorry, that got a little deep.